welcome to Spooky Season of Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave and I will be discussing Dracula versus Van Helsing. Yes. And if you would like to see my first impressions, because this was a game that we just opened out of the box and did a... what is it called? Unboxing. Oh, an unboxing, yes. I don't know why. It's very self-explanatory, but here I am, confused. We'll be posting the unboxing for it on YouTube later this week, so you can check it out under Dice Jesters. If you do head over to YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and a little thumbs up if you like it. If you like us, that'd be cool. And we have just been a little behind on items just because... It's hard. It's hard.
Life.
Yeah. it's hard filming stuff. It's a challenge, but we're learning. We're getting there.
It's a learning curve.
Right. And we went to a pumpkin patch recently.
We did.
We did do some spooky things outside of the board gaming world.
Mm-hmm. Which we love.
Yeah. And that was pretty neat. You know, some, what are they called? Apple cider donuts? Apple cinnamon,
the cider donuts.
Cider donuts. There you go.
Absolutely. I love getting in the spirit of the fall season.
Oh, I know. You like your pumpkin spice lattes.
The pumpkin spice lattes.
The spice.
Sorry, apparently I am having too many of those PSLs,
too many
as they say,
of
to lay off.
I don't like them. I like the apple crisp drinks or the cider drinks, but pumpkin spice lattes, I'm just not a PSL person.
Yeah, I can kind of see your distaste for the PSL.
Mm-hmm.
When I drink it, sometimes it reminds me of candles at my mom's house.
Like a Yankee candle?
A little bit, yeah. It just has this flavor that isn't quite great, but I still want it every year.
Speaking of Yankee Candle, my friend and I had gone into a store once, right? And it was a shoe store. Had no candles in sight. And we walk in, the employee comes out, and he goes, "Welcome to Yankee Candle." We start laughing, and we look at each other confused. The next employee comes out. No foreshadow, no nothing. Didn't hear what the previous person said, and goes, "Welcome to Yankee Candle." I was like,
what is going on?
I know.
Did I wake up in an alternate reality?
Yeah, it was a little interesting. But... back to the game.
We're not here to talk about Yankee Candles. I'm down to talk about Yankee Candles all day long because I love those stores. I love going and sampling the different candle scents. I like the abstract ones with the names that evoke feelings rather than of a specific place or object.
I like when you rename them. But that's what we should do. We should have found a candle for this game.
Oh, candle pairing.
Candle pairing.
How fitting for the autumn season.
Yes.
Then candle pairing with some PSLs
we
and
could
a pumpkin patch.
Into November, because November's still fall season, still cozy. We could still find maybe season 2.
Yeah.
Candle pairings.
People in November are already into the holiday season or thinking winter. But fall goes until... almost the end of December. What do you think of it?
What?
Yeah. It's like people are always one season ahead than the season that we're in.
I don't feel like
September
fall...
hits and people are like fall. But summer is still there until the end of September.
I feel like our definitions of weather are very different.
Maybe.
But that's okay. So for Dracula versus Van Helsing, I was very worried about this one. I really was.
Why? What worried about? Was it the artwork? Was it...
Oh, no, I like the artwork.
Too spooky?
No, I think it was spooky enough. What I was worried about was when we were discussing it, you had stated that it was similar to...
Jekyll versus Hyde.
Yes, Jekyll versus Hyde. And I was worried because I failed terribly at that game. We even had, on video, you beating me first round.
Winning 10 tricks to move down the track.
You won 10 tricks.
To the point where I was like, is this going to be a 3-minute video? We've got to play a second time, at least to make it a little bit longer.
Well, no, we had to test my theory on it being easier, being Mr. Hyde, and my theory was incorrect.
Oh, true. I won the second round.
Yeah, I think it was
just a lot of fun.
But for this game, so I went in thinking that I would lose, and I'm actually really good at this game. I did lose, but I felt like I was doing pretty well. So Dracula versus Van Helsing is a game where one player plays Dracula, the opposite player plays Van Helsing, and it is a one-on-one versus game. Mm-hmm. Is it considered a trick-taking game?
Yeah, definitely. I would consider it trick-taking.
Nice. Okay, so it is a trick-taking game. There are 4 elements, if you will. So there's a blue, a red, a purple, and yellow. And they designate what token is higher. What are they?
Right, the hierarchy of colors.
Yes.
Of suits.
Of suits. And if you have the one that is in the yellow lit-up circle, that suit wins. So no matter what number it is, it trumps the rest. And then it kind of just goes down by there. If a number is the same as another, then you look at the hierarchy of the colors. So with that, you have 5 separate regions.
Yes. Districts, regions.
Districts, okay. And the purpose or goal of it is to prevent one another from winning. So if you are Van Helsing, you're going to want to take Dracula's heart points. And if you're Dracula, you're going to want to turn the townspeople into vampires. I was going to say Draculas. And I was like, nope, Dracula is the vampire that exists already.
Yes, Dracula's acolytes.
Right. It'll just be a vampire in their name. So it'd be like, Julie is now a vampire. It wouldn't be like, Julie is now Dracula.
Yeah.
And this game was fun. I feel like I did a lot better, even though I lost. We played 3 or 4 rounds?
3 rounds, yes.
3 rounds, and the game states that it should take about 30 minutes. How long did we go? Because I know sometimes when we get into the hang of games, we can really make them shorter.
True. The last round we played was about 39 minutes, and then we got distracted by a couple of things while we were playing. But I'd say probably about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
What does the box say?
Yeah, it's 30 minutes.
30 minutes? That's about right, I would say.
Okay. Well, I like this game. So, Dave, I'm going to quiz you.
Yes.
Because I did the unboxing. So I feel... Wait, was this your first time?
Playing this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a brand new game. It was just released by 25th Century Games.
Well, buckle up. Put your table chair seatbelt on, Dave, because I am going to question you.
On what? I wasn't prepared for any questions.
So, Dave,
yeah.
First impression in the box, you're looking at the components. What do you see?
Before playing the game, first impressions?
Yeah.
I think I like the artwork, and that's what drew me.
Okay, Julie. No, I'm kidding. Go on.
Well, because this is the same artist who did The Bloody Inn, which, spoiler, is the next game we're going to play.
Oh, really? Okay.
And also Whirling Witchcraft, which we just played. So awesome. I knew that we were going to play those 2 games, so I came across this. I didn't know anything about the designers of the game or anything, but I just saw the verses and saw it was by 25th Century Games, saw the theme, saw the artist, of whom I love. And I thought, this just seems perfect for the spooky season vibe that we're going for. So I pre-ordered it, and it came just a couple weeks ago. So cracked it open. I love the artwork. I love the components. First impression, it has these card holders that are really cool. They're hefty, and it says Dracula versus Van Helsing on it. So I love that. The tokens had great artwork. The only thing that I can't decide if I love it or not like it, but it's the fact that instead of cards, there are tiles. And they're a little bit challenging to shuffle, and I kept dropping them all over my lap as I was trying to shuffle them. I almost prefer that they were cards, but I get why they're tiles because they're narrower, and you have to keep your cards in the same order on your card holder because each one corresponds with the district that faces it. Right. So I think it's easy having the narrower ones, and it just adds a heftier feel, so I get why they did that. But all in all, my first impression of the components out of the box was very high. And it even has a little coffin thing in the insert.
So cute.
So great.
I love the attention to detail. I love little special Easter eggs like that. Is that what they're called? Like hidden Easter eggs?
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
I'm a sucker for anything. Yeah.
Me too. Like, it's something so simple, but I love that. Like, anytime I get an order from my Etsy shop and somebody, even if it's one sticker, I still will include bonus stickers just as like little Easter eggs because I always felt like that was something special. So I always hope that they think so too.
That's awesome.
Right.
I love that.
I feel I get excited over little things. So that I want other people to be excited over little things.
That's delightful.
I know. But I agree with the tiles though. Oh my goodness. I agree with the tiles though because every time I went to pick one up, the second one would stick to the next one. So I don't know.
That did happen a couple times.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just the finish on it. Maybe the finish could be more matte than this kind of like honed semi-gloss, and that could help. Maybe.
I think you could get the same narrowness of card almost like the space-based cards. You know how those were narrow?
Oh, they were narrow,
and
yeah.
you get a nice linen finish. It would have been perfect for this.
That's true.
I think that would be a better option. But we're just nitpicking. It's not that bad.
Do you feel that each round was different? Yeah. See, I remember your questions.
Within one game, because so there are 5 rounds in the game. So like beginning to end, the rounds feel very different, and this is what I love. One of my favorite things about the game is as you are playing Dracula, you are, as you said, flipping over villager tiles. In each district there are 4. So as Dracula, you win the game once you flip over and convert a 4th villager. And as the game progresses, you might be honing in on a particular region. I might have 2 or 3 villagers of 4 to win the game. And so I'm trying really hard to win that one district, and the other ones I might be ignoring more. So the board almost tightens up in a way where in the beginning it doesn't really matter which one I win. I'm just trying to win some. But by the end, it's very tense in terms of, trying to guess what the other person has in that particular district, because you don't want them to win that round. But then on the flip side, if you're playing Van Helsing, you can almost strategize to try to win the regions you know the other person isn't going for, to try to get more of those health points, and you win if you get all 20. So it's really interesting.
Was that your strategy?
I don't know.
Oh, because this whole time I was playing the whole board. It wasn't until...
As Van Helsing or as Dracula?
As
or both?
Oh. Anytime I was both, I played the whole board.
Oh, no, I played very differently from the beginning to end of the game.
No, I went to win.
Well.
Yeah, because last round was the first round that I noticed where you were really going for a specific region.
Yeah.
And that's when I noticed that, and then really made sure that those cards were high cards. Like high number and or the special suit.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to win the other ones. And that's how I almost had all your heart points at the end.
Yeah.
But it was that last one where you had 8, and I thought I was safe because I had the teal card, and teal, the candle was in the special spot. So I thought I won, and then you laid down the teal 8, and yes.
I'm so excited. Can I talk about a couple other things that I really loved about this game?
Of course you can.
So the second thing I really love about the game is each one of the cards has a special ability. And every turn, the way the turn works is you draw from the top of the deck, and then you can either discard that card or replace one of your cards that you already have and discard that one. So either way, you're discarding a card. And whatever card you discard, you use that ability. And the abilities let you do things like swap cards on your card holder, or make your opponent reveal a card, which means that they place it face up in front of them, and you will have open information from that point forward. Or you might have to reveal one of your cards. Or you might rearrange the order or swap tokens, making one token that was less powerful now the trump suit, which is a game changer toward the end of the round. And so you kind of balance having to figure out which cards you want to keep and then which cards you want to discard for their power. And sometimes it's a really, really challenging decision. So how was your experience with the powers? Did you enjoy those?
I did really like those, minus the ones.
Oh, the
because
ones, yeah.
I got so many ones. So you basically saw my whole hand, because the ones made you reveal one card every time you played it, or every time you got rid of it. So you would be looking at my whole hand while I was stuck guessing yours. So I kind of was seeing your poker face.
Yeah.
And just kind of determining when I put the card down if you giggled, if you smirked a bit, if your eyes glowed.
I'm probably easy to read.
Yes.
Because I get really excited.
You did. That's why when I put my finger over the 8 teal, I saw your body slightly tensed a bit. And then I moved it, and then it untensed. And I was like... But I was sitting there like, no, he can't beat me. I have the teal. It's fine. Not knowing that you would have the 8 teal. And the one card that I liked the most, well, the one card I was indifferent about, I would say, is the 8. Because I want the 8, but if you lay down the 8, it doesn't allow the other person to finish their turn, because that ends the round, as long as there's 6 cards that have already been played.
Yeah.
Like in the discard pile. And I liked it when I had the perfect hand, and then I drew an 8 and I laid it down because I was just like, perfect, let's go. I was not excited about it when you were like, game end. I was like, wait, what? No!
No, and I love that you mentioned the 8, discarding that to immediately end the round, because that leads into my third thing that I really loved about this game, which was ending the round. So I love the decision of how to end the round is really what you do on your turn. It's not built into the round, except for if the whole deck runs out, then the round ends. But that never happened to us in our 3 plays of it. What you can do on your turn, instead of doing anything, instead of drawing, instead of discarding, is just calling the end of the round. And then the other person takes one more turn, and then you evaluate each district and who got the trump suit or higher number. But if you discard an 8, it ends the round immediately, and the other person doesn't get a turn. So, I think it's a really interesting choice of when to end the round, because I found myself in some situations thinking, I should just end the round now because I have some pretty good cards. But then you reveal a card, and I know that you're going to beat me in that district. So I need to figure out a way to either swap my cards or swap the tokens in order to get that one that I really need. Or maybe I just cut my losses and end this one and try to do better on the next round. But if I keep this one going, I might not draw cards that are that helpful, and you could actually end up in a more beneficial spot. Right. So it's this whole mind game of trying to figure out what you have, what I have, who's going to win what, and how long I can keep the game going in my favor. So I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like it too, because I can prolong it. Yeah. Unless you say, like, end of game. But if I have 5s, I can have some more turns if I'm willing to give up my 5s.
Yeah.
Because 5 lets you take another turn if you discard it.
2 turns in a row. I love that one too. And if you've noticed, one of my favorite things in games is when players can control how long or how short the game goes, like in Azul, for example.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things. It adds a level of tension trying to guess when the other person's going to end it. Or are we going to just coast through and play a little bit longer and just keep it going nice and relaxing?
Nice and relaxing? If anything, you know that the longer it goes, the better my hand usually yeah. Especially if you're talking about Azul, I will.
Or Dominion. If I let it go too long, you usually win. I have to end it pretty quick.
You do, even though you have those very long chains where I'm waiting forever.
Go read your novel and come back.
Honestly.
Was there anything that you didn't like about the game, or could be a potential negative for you or anybody really?
This game was very. And I feel like I've been saying this about most games, but just from a new player perspective, a new board gamer, I don't know. Am I still qualified as a new board gamer, beginner gamer?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that, because what is a new gamer? Maybe, I think in my grand scheme of life, maybe somebody who I've played a couple games with, and they don't play any games beyond that, that would be maybe a new gamer. But at this point, we've played several together, to the point where you can relate games to others.
I can relate only the games that we played, though.
Yeah, it's true. You're just a gamer.
I'm just,
newish.
Yeah, an enthusiast.
Yeah.
But, so this game, learning it was probably one of the easiest ones to learn out of the games we have played. Because all of the cards, or all of the tiles, all the numbers, so no matter what color a 5 is, it does the same action if you discard it. No matter what color a 1 is, it does the same action no matter if you discard it. And then it's a simple looking to see if it's the color for the suit that's the winning suit, and or seeing if it's a higher number than your opponent's. So there's not that much thought that needs to develop for it, unless you're like really going to trick the other person, or if you're really reading the other person. So This game does say 10 up, and I think that's a good age, but you could probably do 8 and up. As long as they understand, like, high number, low number, and suits.
Now, do you think that it was easier because we'd played a trick-taking game? Dracula versus Hyde was your first trick-taking game you've ever played. Now that you understood that, do you think that made this game a lot easier? Because you kind of had that vocabulary or language or conceptual framework in your head.
Even though this may be a trick-taking game, I thought the 2 games were different.
I agree.
Because this game was so much easier for me. Dracula versus Hyde was so difficult for me because I didn't comprehend it, and we've played that a few times. This game, I was good after the first game. I got it. I knew how to work the board and everything. I know I didn't particularly win every single time, but I still understood how the game worked, and I didn't feel like there was a difference. Like, I didn't feel that neither side had an advantage, whether it be Dracula or Van Helsing. While Dracula versus Hyde, I still feel Hyde has an advantage. I know that I lost both rounds that we had played when we did our playthrough. But I still think Hyde has the advantage because if you look at that, I did better when I was Hyde.
That's true. You have a good point. I think that the main difference here, Jekyll versus Hyde, it's hard for me to tell exactly which side is easier, but I do agree that they feel a little imbalanced to the point where if we're going to sit down and play one game, it's hard to feel who really won. I think you need 2 games in a row where you switch roles, whereas this game, I don't think either side has an advantage because what you're trying to do is essentially the same thing.
Exactly.
They're just a little bit different, but the style in which you play is not any different. So you could just sit down and play one game and feel like either side was a perfectly balanced experience or likeliness of winning the game.
Yeah, because no matter what, for that round, each person gets some type of points if they win that card.
Yeah.
So you could get a heart point or you can have a vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So after just a few plays, where are you at in terms of your meeple score for Dracula versus Van Helsing?
I know we only did 3, but I really like this game. I really do. And I feel somewhat, not bad, but I feel repetitive. Always scoring usually higher for games. But I like this game. And I kind of feel that, especially with spooky season, it's easier to pick games that I will like because it's spooky themed.
Sure, yeah.
So I really do think this is a 5 because I can't think of anything that I dislike about it other than maybe the boat, but I understand on why the boat would be the counter.
Yeah.
Because they're on like their own little place.
I get what you mean about feeling repetitive, and I think there's almost a stigma against rating games a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. But here's how I look at it, and I agree with you. I do, as it sits after a few plays, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. I think for the audience that the game is intended for, how perfect of a match is it? And I think for a 2-player head-to-head style card game, I can't think of anything that is not perfect about this game in terms of the experience it provides, the tension and everything. It's really everything I would want in a 2-player game. So
yeah,
I would say 5 out of 5.
And I would say it's a keep it to play.
Keep it to play. Yeah,
we like it.
I want to even play after we finish this now.
Yeah, we should for sure. I will be Dracula. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll be Van Helsing.
Okay, sounds good. Well
thank you, Julie, for playing the game with me.
Of course, Dave. And thank you so much for listening to our episode this week. If you would like to see the unboxing, it will be posted later this week on our YouTube. If you would like to see how the games look at all, you can visit us on our Instagram. Our Instagram is Dice Jesters. And we also have Patreon where there is exclusive content, which is also under Dice Jesters. Some of that exclusive content includes bloopers, and the podcast art goes on there prior to release. So if you are interested in what the art will look like, you can see it there, as well as a few other extras that, might be exciting. Thank you again for listening to our episode. With the night drawing to a close, beware the darkness within. Until next time, beware the bloody inn.